see who can win the crown. All the marbles involved, football, baseball, or golf. Who's dominating the hoops? Who's talking false or the truth? Yeah, come and show me your war face. I show you my war face. No holds barred, so for your sake, you better show up in good shape. Valuable information is key to your domination. So focus on preparation, online is your reputation. Yeah, it's one-on-one, you and me, ain't no fear in me, you will see. When it comes to this, you be wearing the number 23. In debate, I hold my weight, cause these sports I'm attached to it. Your legacy, get ready, cause I'm gonna set a match to it. Hey. Burn 'em, fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 legacy on fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 legacy on fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 legacy on fire.
This week's panel, Jay Quimby, co-host of the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast. Drew Willingham, founder of D. Willie Media. And Victor Herrera, host of the Don't Touch My Sports podcast.
Hello, everybody. Darrell, Owens, LegacyMaker Sports Network, and welcome back into the fire pit. Jay likes when I say fire pit. Yeah, isn't that right, Jay?
Not really.
Not really. That's what I kind of figured. We're back in the fire pit, y'all. And this is episode 3 of Legacy on Fire. And I'm glad to have you all with us today. But with me today, 3 of my guys from the LegacyMaker Sports Network. First of all, we got our lead panelist. He is co-founder of the LegacyMaker Sports Network. Also co-host of the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast, Mr. Jeremiah Quimby. What's up, sir?
What's up, everybody? Fuck COVID.
Okay, great. Next, we have co-host of In and Out. He does a plethora of great videos, and I can go on and on about the videos and content and articles that this man has put forth here on the LegacyMaker Sports Network over the last 2 years. My man, Mr. Drew Willingham. What's up, Drew?
What's happening, everyone? This is actually my first time on camera in 4 months. It's been a very busy year. I'm not going to repeat what Jay said, but I'm all in with what he just said about COVID because it has screwed everything up. But I'm glad to be here. Thanks, guys.
And next, everybody, he's a newcomer to the LegacyMaker Sports Network, but the work that he's put in the last couple of months cannot go unseen. That's our man. He is the host of Don't Take My Sports Podcast. Isn't that right, Vic? My man, yes, Victor Herrera. How you doing, Vic?
I'm pretty good. I'll say it too early. Go Stars next year in the NHL Stanley Cup Finals. We going back to back.
There you go. So you got.
I will say, you guys got to check out his articles on our website. He's a great writer. I mean, really made me more interested in hockey. I mean, Stephen Daniels talks it, but Vic knows it.
All right. All right, everybody.
I'm a bus driver, anybody. You know that.
Now, for those who don't know how this works, we're going to have 3 topics, and each of those topics, our panelists will get 1 minute to give their opinions, to give their debate on that topic. Then each panelist will get 30 seconds to rebuttal what their fellow panelists said. Then, of course, we'll have our Put Out the Fire segment not too long after that. So let's go ahead and get this thing started. We're starting this one off with Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers has been in the league since 2004. If you look at his numbers, he is a Hall of Famer in most people's eyes. But the question on the board right now, especially after a big win against the Tennessee Titan team that people see as a huge contender in the AFC, is Phillip Rivers a Hall of Famer? We're going to start this one off with our head panelist, Mr. Jeremiah Quimby. Jay, is Phillip Rivers a Hall of Famer?
Numbers wise, yes. He's lacking that certain jewelry factor. He's thrown for a lot of yards. You look at any passing category, he is the top 20 of statistics in almost every category, except interceptions, which I was really surprised by. So he's going to get in, may not be first ballot, but he will get in.
All right. Next, we have Mr. Drew Willingham.
I believe he's going to get in as well. I mean, when you look back in the Chargers' history, I mean, I know he's with the Colts now. Last week's win was huge over the Titans. But when you look back with Phillip Rivers being with the Chargers, he's kind of like the Dan Fouts of today's football. I mean, the amount of time that Dan Fouts was with the Chargers franchise, he is to what that franchise today of what Dan Fouts was. I mean, he's an 8-time Pro Bowler, 2013 Comeback Player of the Year, passing yards leader in 2010. This guy set a lot of records. To be able to fill the shoes of one Drew Brees when he came in, I mean, this guy's done great. I'd have to say I would have to agree with Jay. He's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he is a Hall of Famer in my book. I say by the second or third year, he gets in.
All right, Vic, what do you got on this? Phillip Rivers, Hall of Famer?
Well, I have to agree. I do believe he will make it. However, I'm not happy with it. I mean, he has never gone to the Super Bowl, hasn't gone to a conference title, no significant games. You play long enough, you're going to get the stats. You play long enough, you're going to get your recognition. It kind of seems to me like we're on the track for kind of a participation. Yeah, he played long in the league and did his time, but Hall of Famer, no, but he will get it.
Very interesting take. Jay, your chance to fire back.
No, I actually liked his take on that. There's no jewelry. And like Vic said, how far did he actually ever make it into the playoffs? You talk to Marv Lewis. Him and Phillip would have been a great combo together. Great at winning regular season.
All right, Drew, your chance to fire back.
I have to agree with what they say, but I am going to say this. Phillip Rivers has almost 250 consecutive starts. It takes a tough SOB, and I can say that. It takes a tough SOB to be in there for almost 250 consecutive starts. So for that, there's other guys like, Brett Favre got one Super Bowl. Will Phillip Rivers get one? He potentially can with the Colts, but, they're leading the AFC South right now, 6-3. They have the chance to do that. The other team is 6-3 in the same division. They just beat.
Look at that. Drew gets the first buzz today. Next, your chance to fire back. Vic.
Oh, I have to agree with him. And I really like the comment that Drew brought to the table. But, I mean, it just kind of feels like a participation. Like, you play those games, you get your stats, and that's all great. But we live in an era where you're criticized by your awards and rings and where you go and take teams. I just don't feel he's taking them to earn it, but he will get it.
All right, so there it is on Phillip Rivers. My thing about it is this. Me and Jay have talked about it multiple times on our podcast. He is that missing piece from the 2004 class, draft class, quarterback class, to be probably the greatest quarterback class of all time. It's a tough run with that 83 class with Elway and Marino, but when you look at it, they're that close. He's just that close. But can Phillip make it happen? I guess only time will tell. Next topic, we head to the world of baseball, where over the last week we've gotten a lot of awards named. This person named this person named that. But one of the biggest ones that a lot of people are kind of up in a tizzy about is that the NL MVP went to Freddie Freeman. Now, Freddie Freeman was the man that helped lead that Braves team to a National League Championship Series appearance. But the man a lot of people thought they should have won, Mr. Mookie Betts, helped take that Dodgers team to the World Series and, of course, to win a World Series. So the question is this, fellas. Did Mookie Betts get gypped here? Should he have been the NL MVP? We'll start this one with Drew.
I don't believe he got robbed with it. I mean, when you look at Freeman's numbers, he led in all statistical categories except for home runs and steals over Betts. I mean, Betts had 16 to his 13 in home runs and 10 steals to Freeman's 2 in the 60-game shortened season that we had. And Betts only played in 55 of those games, so he actually played in a few less. He gets the ultimate trophy, though, this year as a World Series champion. First time the Dodgers had done it since 1988. I mean, Freeman's been clawing his way at this 5 out of the last 8 seasons, finishing in the top 10 in MVP voting. And this year he deserved it. As a Braves fan, I'm not trying to be biased, but when you look at all the stats right there, he deserved it. So I got to give it to him. And his stats proved it in voting too. 410 first place votes to Betts' 268. You got to give it to Freeman there.
All right, Victor, we slide to you on this one. Should Mookie Betts have been the MVP of the National League?
I have to agree with you. I don't believe so. I mean, you heard about Betts and his great defense and his stats in the postseason, not so much in the regular season. In this regular season, though, Freeman was on track to have one of his best seasons ever. So I just feel, he's done more for his team, both on the field and in the clubhouse. You got young players on that team, superstars coming up. And not only was he able to lead them on the field, but also, he's paving the way for him in the clubhouse. And that's a big reason why he needs and won the MVP.
All right, Jay Quimby.
I'm gonna kind of sucks, but I'm gonna agree with him. Every statistical category, he was better than Mookie. Also, he had the best WAR, wins above replacement, of any player active, that played 50 plus games. The only player that was close to him and was same was Jose Ramirez for the Indians. So, I mean, Freeman deserves it. Yeah, absolutely.
Drew, chance to fire back.
It's the first time in history that a former child actor wins the NL MVP, in baseball. No, I mean, Freeman does look like Buzz from Home Alone, if you guys have ever seen that movie from back in the day. But, I don't really have anything to fire back with. Freeman deserved this one, so Betts didn't get robbed. He had a great season, got the World Series ring. I mean, both of them had a, great year overall with both of those.
All right, Vic, your chance to fire back.
I don't really have much to fire back on, but I will say this, that you go MVP, most valuable player, and Freeman is the most valuable player to the Braves over Betts versus the Dodgers. And that's a big reason of how I look at it too.
I like that. Jay, fire back.
Absolutely. But the other thing, Freeman, he's a loyalty guy. You know how big I am on people sticking around and being loyal to where the people that drafted him brought him up through the minors. So, Betts went where the money was, where he could get the ring. I ain't got nothing for that. You know that.
Now, the only thing I will say here is I think that Mookie Betts, I think a lot of people are up in war over this, is because Mookie Betts made so many flashy plays this year. I mean, they were outstanding plays. And I think sometimes you look at somebody and you say, man, this guy's making so many great plays, but then you don't look at the statistics, all of that hard work, all of the things that go unnoticed. And that's what you were seeing in Freddie Freeman. I mean, he still was putting up great numbers, and he was leading that young cast down in Atlanta. And I think a lot of people overlooked that. They just saw all of the flashiness, the great arm strength in Mookie Betts, the diving catches, the jumping over the wall, you name it, the hitting the clutch home runs. That's what Mookie did all year during this short season. But in the end, Freddie gets the award, and I think he deserved it. Definitely think he deserved it. All right, now we head to our next topic. Now, this next topic has to do with the Masters. First time we talk golf here on Legacy on Fire, but it's an interesting one. Now, over the last 20 plus years, Tiger Woods has been a fixture in the golf world. He is probably the reason why the golf is as popular as it has been in the last 20 years. Now, of course, Tiger was well on his way to getting that 19th major, and he was cruising right along, and then a lot of things happened in life, and it started to cut back. Now, this weekend, he struggled on that last round when he had maybe a little bit of a shot to maybe bring it back. Just wasn't going to happen. The last year's Master champion wasn't able to get it through. This year, as Dustin Johnson was the man to go on and get the green jacket this year. But the question at hand is this, fellas. Will Tiger Woods get to number 19? Will he pass Jack Nicklaus? Vic, we're going to start with you.
The biggest question I think that spins off of this is, can Tiger Woods maintain and possibly even gain distance? That's where this game's going to. Distance off the tee. And, going with this Masters, if he wins one, and I think he still will, I believe it's going to be the PGA Championship. I don't believe it's going to be the U.S. Open. I don't believe it's going to be the Open. And I don't believe he's going to be able to bounce back from this Masters letdown, as you could say it, because it's been proven with Spieth, especially in the past, that people that tend to have these meltdowns here, and Rory as well, don't seem to overcome that well. But he'll get it, and it's going to be the PGA Championship.
We'll see. We'll see. Jay Quimby.
I think, breakdown, he's always had that violent swing, and he's had how many back surgeries. I was very surprised to see him at 9 under, on Saturday or Friday, sorry. and be in contention. And then all of a sudden the wheels fell off of it. Father Time catching up to him. I mean, he's not that old. He's 44, I believe. So, but you got to wonder. I don't see him doing it. I really don't. The competition has gotten so much better. When we were younger, you had those 2 or 3 guys that always won everything. Now anybody can win.
Mr. Drew Willingham.
When Tiger once won the 2019 Masters, it was kind of a miracle. I mean, the guy had 4 major back surgeries between 2014 and 2017. Watching Tiger Woods this past weekend was kind of a reminder of what we've seen over the course of the past decade. Since he went through the marital problems, the surgeries and everything, he's kind of been up and down. Will he get to 19? That's a pretty big question, and I have to agree with those guys as well about, what we saw, at the Masters. I don't think he's going to be able to overcome that. Maybe he might be able to get it in the next victory at the U.S. Open, but the next one behind him with 6 major championships is Dustin Johnson, who just won this past weekend. It's going to be time will tell for that one.
All right, Vic, your chance to fire back.
Oh, well, they both have great opportunity, great discussion points. And, I have to agree with both of them in a way because, time will tell. And if he can learn to play to his strengths and not try to keep up with the young bucks as far as DeChambeau and DJ and even Rory at times that can drive the ball a mile long, if he can learn a new style of playing, that's where I think he's going to find success.
All right, Jay Quimby, fire back.
Oh, absolutely agree. Dustin Johnson, I think we will not – it's going to be at least another 10, 15 years before we see a guy come onto the scene that's going to change the game the way that Tiger did. And, because I just – 6 compared to 18, DJ is 36 years old already. I mean, that's time. It's golf. People don't think it's that strenuous. Go swing a golf club a couple times. See how you feel.
Drew, fire back.
I mean, they bring up great points, but it's one of those things when it comes to Tiger Woods, and the older you get, can't teach an old dog new tricks. So it's going to be tough for him to adjust his game. And he's in his 40s. He's already set, major records throughout his career. He could retire today and still be, the best of all time, in my opinion. So can he get another major or 2 and get to 20? I hope so. I'm hopeful for that. Do I think so? The way we've been watching him over the past decade, I'm doubtful of it. So we'll see.
All right.
That's the fact that his son played in a tournament about a month ago and won and was the only player under. So let's look up what's coming.
So there's some legacy going on there, is what you're telling me.
Oh, Tiger could be a caddy.
The caddy sugar daddy.
The caddy
sugar daddy. He can go back to his old ways because he's not playing when he's retired.
Now we're going to take you to our bonus round. So with this bonus round here, we got a bonus topic here, and we're going to start this one off, sir, with Mr. Drew Willingham. But here's the question at hand. Now, this season, we've seen a lot. This NFL season, we've seen a lot of backups having to come in big roles due to a lot of injuries, a lot of crazy things going on. And as we saw Drew Brees go down, Jameis Winston looks like he may be getting an opportunity to shine again. We'll see that. So the question at hand is this, and we'll start this one off with Drew. In your opinion, which second string backup guy this year has shown the most when they've had that opportunity, in your opinion?
In a year where we've had over a dozen different backup quarterbacks enter the game. I mean, you've had a guy with the last name of Tanucci, who you would think would be owning an Italian restaurant, playing a quarterback. There's different guys playing throughout there. I've got to say, with the Chargers filling in for Phillip Rivers, I got to go with Justin Herbert. He's thrown for over 2,000 yards. He's almost at 2,500 yards already throughout the season. Definitely cemented himself as potentially the future of that team. He's played really well. I got to go with him. That would be who my pick. It's been great as a Washington football team fan to see Alex Smith come back, as Darrell and I were at the game when Alex Smith took that horrific hit and went down. That was horrible for him to come back and play, especially like he did this past weekend with almost 400 passing yards. Didn't get any touchdowns or interceptions, but that was actually his career high in passing yards in an NFL game. It was great to see that as a fan of that game, but I got to go with Herbert on this one.
Just under. I like that. Vic, who do you see as that primary guy this year? Who's been that guy that's kind of just who's kind of been that guy? I know, right? The buzzer decides to have a mind of its own. So, Vic, what about you? Who's that guy that you say, man, wow, he's come in, he's done a great job. Who's been the best backup quarterback in your mind this season so far?
Well, I have to be honest, I'm a little hurt that Drew took my guy. I mean, I'm not looking at wins and losses right now. I'm looking at the future. And for him to come into that game after what happened with Tyrod happened and with like a minute to prepare, obviously shows you this kid can play and he's going to be good for a while in this league. And he is the person that can lead this Chargers. Once they get some pieces around him, he's going to be the guy. He's a big body, mobile quarterback, which is making the NFL mobile quarterback league. So he's the guy you want there. And the big things are going to come from Herbert. Huge things.
All right, Jay.
I don't not like it, but Herbert, he's got everything you want, but the pieces are there, and he's 2-7. That team sucks. Tua's 3-0. They brought him in. They built the franchise around him. Flores has laid down the plans. That defense is doing what's got to be done. You know, I love the Alex Smith thing. He's an inspiration. You know, the stuff that I've went through that I'm still working back from. I absolutely love that. But Tua is the story of the guy that come up because, you know, they built the team for him. He's doing what they got to do.
All right, Drew, your chance to fire back.
I'm ready to fire back. All right, Tua only has 519 yards. He had to come in and politically take that job from Ryan Fitzpatrick, who was already leading that team in victories and helping them get to the next level. You just took out Fitz magic. So you're going to compare slotting Tua in there, the fact that he's playing great with the people that Fitzpatrick was playing great with. You're going to come back with that, Quimby, against somebody who's got Herbert and they're 2-7. Yes, I got to pull a Rob Johnson on this one because Herbert came in. Yes, the team sucks, but they're going to get other people around him in the offseason. Herbert's going to be the future. Tua's already injury prone. I don't like that. I am in on Herbert.
Vic, your chance to fire back.
My only fire back is I agree with Drew, but my fire back is it's a matter of time before Tua thinks he's more athletic than what he is. And that's what happened in Alabama, and that's what's going to happen in Miami. He's going to think he can make a play that is out of his range, that a Herbert play could be done, and something bad is going to happen.
Now, Jay, before I give you the fire back, I do have one thing to say about what Drew said. Not what Drew said, but what Vic said. There was a tackle yesterday in that game on Sunday where you saw him go, and he made the tackle, but it scared me. Like he stopped the Chargers player from scoring, but the way he landed had me. So he does have to be careful there. But Jay, your chance to fire back.
Well, okay, the hip where he dislocated it is the strongest bone in the human body. I broke mine 3 times. I know what it takes to break it. He'll be okay. And 500 yards, 3 games. 3 games. Fitzmagic knew what the hell he was there for. It was to hold on to the steering wheel until he got his license and then get his ass in the passenger seat.
Yeah, but Tua was averaging like 161 yards a game. Okay? Look at Herbert. He's going to throw for over 3,000 yards.
But he's got the pieces. You say until he gets the pieces. He's got Mike Williams, Keenan Allen. They got an offensive line. They got a great defense. But they're not winning.
They need a new coach.
Now, I will say this. Now, I've been a huge guy when it comes to Anthony Lynn. I like Anthony Lynn. I just feel like they've had a bad string of luck. I am a huge Brian Flores guy. Whatever. Huge Brian Flores guy. I think he is bringing that Patriot away slowly down the coast to Miami. And if you watch how that team is playing, they have a Patriots mentality. So it's going to be very interesting to see which one of those two guys, especially when one was drafted 5th and the other one was drafted 6th, they're always going to be connected together. So very interesting take. But if I had to I guess if I had to say a guy that came in and has really impressed me, no, let me not lie. I was going to say Nick Foles. Doubt it. I'll be honest with you. I like what I've seen from Herbert. I've actually liked what I've seen for Tua. First game was not pretty. His last 2 games, he's played a lot better, a lot more accurate. We got 2 great things, 2 great players. The next couple of years, we're going to get to see magic from.
Fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 burn 'em.
All right. Now, it is time, ladies and gentlemen, to put out the fire. So I'm excited to see this one because the last couple of weeks we've had some good put out the fire segment. So let's see who's going to put out the fire. Let's see who should I start with on this one. You know what? Let's start with our newest member of the LegacyMaker Sports Network, Mr. Victor Herrera. Vic, it's time for you to put out the fire.
I'm going to put out the fire on the fact that Bryson DeChambeau completely wasted his opportunity at the Masters. You mean to tell me you swinging a 46-inch driver, winning majors and making records, and then you're going to try to one-up everybody and go to a 48 just to lose your ball and lose multiple balls? No. That is the most idiotic thing I've seen all year in golf, and that is the most immature decision coming from a young golfer who had things working, and he's just going to piss it away.
I like that. Next one, Jay Quimby. Fire back, sir. I mean, not fire back. Wrong segment. Toss it away. Put out the fire, Jay.
Bald-headed people.
It's a glare thing. It's a glare thing. Let that fly.
No, what I got is, we're hitting this second wave. Everybody knew that this was a possibility. It's going to happen, and they're making plans. And I brought it up on last week's show about you're on the sidelines, wear a mask. You win a game, celebrate, wear a fucking mask. Get it together. You're losing draft picks. You're losing money. You're a bunch of jackasses. Done.
Jay's message over the last 2 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. Guess what?
No, it's
wear a mask.
How dumb is it?
Just wear a mask.
That's to say it until they get it through their heads.
Well, they can wear their fucking helmets on the sideline with a face shield.
Next, Drew, your chance to put out the fire, sir.
Riverboat Ron. This is absurd with the amount of quarterbacks we have had. We might as well throw the punter in there. All right. You finally decide that Alex Smith should be the quarterback. We should have been through this at the beginning of the season. He should have been the quarterback. Dwayne Haskins on the sideline this past weekend may be sick. You let him suit up just because Kyle Allen got hurt. Are you going to trade him? What are you going to do, Riverboat Ron? We've got to decide where we're going to go in the quarterback spot. The Redskins need to start getting wins. Oh, my bad, Washington football team. They need to get wins.
So, Riverboat Ron, if you didn't hear that message, Drew says, get it together. Get it together, my man.
Yo, do you want Antonio Brown? Because it looks like he's already getting in trouble down in Tampa.
Oh, boy.
Apparently, he destroyed a video camera and a bike.
Oh, boy. Well,
ladies and gentlemen, don't do drugs.
And
don't throw bags of dicks at people either.
And that's a PSA from Drew and Jay here on Legacy on Fire. Everybody, once again, thank you all for tuning in for another episode of Legacy on Fire. I hope you all enjoyed yourself. We've got more coming up next week. We got a really fun panel coming on. Of course, Jay will be on with Joe Dillard Jr. and Ty Montgomery. That'll be episode 4. And then in about a month, we have our special Ladies Night edition of this. So just be ready for that one. That's going to be a fun one. I'm Darrell Owens. Before we get out of here, Vic, anything you got to say?
All I got to say is go Stars and shout out to Jose Vitor Leme winning the PBR World Championship. Brazil proud right there.
All day, every day. Drew Willingham, anything you got to say before we go?
COVID sucks. It has ruined 2020, and that's what I have to say about that. Just glad everybody here is safe and is doing well, and that we at least can do this. We can at least do this type of show and be a part of something during this. We're going to keep on trucking, and we're going to be there at the end of COVID. So let's keep on fighting. Thank you for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
No problem. Jay Quimby.
Go Bucks.
All right, everybody. I'm Darrell Owens. This has been Legacy on Fire. Until next time.